This is Khaliis Take. How you doing? I'm glad you're able to drop by. Please don't be a stranger and come back and see us Monday through Friday, 4 p.m., Thursday through Sunday, 11 p.m. If it's your first time to the channel, please like, subscribe, leave any comments. Also hit the notification bell for the newest content first. And I hope you enjoy this video.
When I ask, or when I say, does the Brooklyn Nets need to make a trade? I really mean that question. I really think that's a legitimate question. I think that's something legitimate to ask. When I look at the Brooklyn Nets, the glaring issue with them is not only the defensive end, because they can't really defend anybody, and they really don't have no lockdown defenders. It's more the fact that I think one of the biggest issues also, they don't have a real big man. I mean, DeAndre Jordan, to me, DeAndre Jordan is either on the backside of his career, or DeAndre Jordan just really can't play. Really can't play that good anymore. And I never thought DeAndre Jordan was like a, offensive guru or anything like that. But I did think he was a formidable big man several years ago with Lob City, where he would get blocks and he would play better defense and he got more rebounds and he was just more of a presence in the paint. He was just more of a presence as a big man several years ago. Now when I look at DeAndre Jordan, it's like he's another guy out there. And then, like I said, if they're going to go out there with that mentality, if they're going to have that mentality, you know what I'm saying? If the Nets have the mentality of, okay, we're good enough with DeAndre Jordan and we can win a championship with him, if that's their mentality, then I really think they're sorely mistaken. I really think they need to trade for a big man. I think they could use the likes of a player like Andre Drummond, or somebody like that. I think they need more size. Like I said before in one of my previous videos, you can go back and check out one of my previous videos when I talked about the Brooklyn Nets. I said one of their biggest issues is, that Jared Allen trade. I really thought that was a huge loss for them, because Jared Allen he was starting to improve so much to me based upon what I was seeing game after game. And like I said, Jared Allen is a defensive type of big man. He will go up and try to block shots. He does block shots and he does play really good defense, and he can hold down that centerpiece right there in the rim, under the rim in the basket, where a lot of teams and a lot of players, when they go up, they know they have to either dunk on Jared Allen or you might get your, thrown out the gym. So like I said, I think Jared Allen was a big loss for them as far as a big man who could defend and lock down the paint, hold down the paint, in which they need. I know, like I said, none of the other players play defense, Harden and none of them, but Harden, Kyrie, and KD, that's definitely like three awesome nuclear weapons that just no team is ever going to have. I mean, the fact that they, put up points the way they do, it's unreal, that they have that type of firepower. But at the same time, if you look at these games they're in, they're giving up 120 plus points to every team I look at just about. I think tonight is the only night. I think the Indiana Pacers, they beat the Pacers 104-94. Tonight's one of the only nights that I can remember in the last week or so, couple weeks, that they haven't given up over 120 points. And it seems like everybody that plays them gets a career high. Colin Sexton gets a career high. I think some kid got a career high the other night off of the Detroit Pistons. Now come on now. You're letting teams like that go in there and beat you. Kyrie is right. This is just an average team, because at least at this point right now, by the end of the season, I think they'll be well more seasoned. They'll have more, much more camaraderie together. They'll play together a lot more, and they'll definitely understand each other more and know where, exactly where everybody likes it in their spots, and they'll know exactly how to get each other in their spots and play at a higher level and get better, percentage shots as a team. But like I said, they're giving up. Like I said, up until the night against the Pacers, they were giving up like 120 points every time I looked at the stat sheet. And every time I looked at the stat sheet, there was some guy on the opposing team who's got a career high, seemed like. And it's like, that's really not good when you're giving up that type of, when you get them that type of region, you're definitely going to lose a lot of games. And I'm sitting there thinking a lot of people's already crowning them, saying, hey, they're making it to the NBA finals and they're going to win the championship. But, you have to look at everything in its entirety. Is that really true? Is that something that you can bank on if they're going to win a championship? I mean, is that a legitimate way to look at it? Because like I said, when I look at this team, I'm not 100% sure they can. I mean, I'm looking at them and I'm seeing the chemistry they have as far as their offense, but their defense is so porous. It just seems like any team can get anything they want. Now, let's just be quite honest. The Cleveland Cavaliers should not beat you twice. They beat them with all three players, and they beat them with Kyrie and Harden, I think, because I think Kevin Durant was out that game. But they beat them twice, like in the same week. That's really unheard of for a team like Brooklyn. Even though Brooklyn hasn't been playing together that long, still, a team like Cleveland, they shouldn't beat you twice in like 1 week. And then you lose to the Pistons the other night. Now, let me mind you this. I think the Pistons, I'm not even sure Blake Griffin played that game, but if he did, it doesn't really matter. He's not a factor like he used to be, and he's definitely not a superstar like he used to be. He's been washed a long time now. But at the same time, when you look at the Pistons, I mean, Jerry Grant, I think he had like 32 points, which is really a surprise. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know he was that good, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So, when I think about, that, giving him 32 points, even though I realize Jerry Grant's getting better, but the fact that I don't even think they had Blake Griffin. And I know they didn't have Derrick Rose because he was in the midst of a trade. So for them not to have, or those two players playing at their peak or their highest, or one might be traded or whatever, you should not lose to the Detroit Pistons without Derrick Rose and with a bunch of players that I don't even really know who they are. It's just unheard of, because even without Kevin Durant, you shouldn't lose to a team like the Pistons, because you still got James Harden and Kyrie Irving, two of the best players in the NBA. Definitely two top 10 players in the NBA. So when you look at that in its entirety, their defense is so porous, they will let teams do what they want, run shop, go into the paint, score how they want to, knock down threes, and they always seem to be giving out career highs to guys that I didn't even know really much about, you know what I'm saying? And that's just really not a good thing, I don't think that's a good recipe for them going forward if they plan on winning a championship, because to me, you can't win a championship when you have that type of defense. And like I said, to me, even more so, the fact that Harden, Kyrie, and KD don't play defense, they don't have a big man in the paint that can secure the paint. I think you can go in, and that's the reason why teams and players are getting these unknown players are getting career highs on them, because they don't have nobody in the paint that really demands a presence, or that has a presence in the paint that demands respect. They don't have that. And like I said, DeAndre Jordan is a good piece, but I think DeAndre Jordan's a lot better backup, center now rather than a starting center, because like I said, I just don't see where he's going to impact the game on the defensive end, because he's not so far, because all these teams, like I said, up until the night against the Pacers, all these teams are scoring 120 plus points easily. And like I said, they're making it look so easy that it almost seems like the Nets are not even trying on defense. And I've said in my previous videos, the Nets head coach is Steve Nash, and Steve Nash, in his tenure, his time of playing the NBA, he never played defense, and no team he was on ever played defense. When he played for the Phoenix Suns back in the day, they were all offense. So to me, it's really going to be hard for me to understand how they're going to be preached and taught how to play defense and be this juggernaut, way better team, when they're trained by a coach that basically just did all offense, and they're all offensive players. Yeah, they make defensive plays at times, but can they make defensive plays in a 7-game series? Can they do it 4 out of 7 times in a 7-game series? I'm not sure if they can do that. Now, like I said, I still think they will make the finals. I still think they'll come out the East, but when the finals get here, I'm really not sure if they'll make it past that or win the finals, because I'm not sure if they could beat either the Clippers or the Lakers. I'm not sure if they can in the 7-game series, because you're talking about both teams that have defensive type players. Kawhi, LeBron, AD, you know what I'm saying, PG, you know what I'm saying, you talking about defensive minded type players, and when they lock in, I think these teams really can make some noise in regards to the defensive end. So it's like when I think about the Nets, like I said, to me, their biggest problem is not just the defensive, not just being a non-defensive team all the way around. I also think, like I said, they just don't have a big man in the paint to, claim it and demand that respect. Because when you have that, it just opens up everybody else on the defensive end as well to lock down their guy. And if, somebody goes in the paint, now you got a big man there that can, alter some shots. And like I said before, when they got rid of Jared Allen, I thought that was a huge loss for them. Also, the loss of, Karis LeVert was a big loss too. But I mean, hey, they still did manage to keep Joe Harris. So Joe Harris is a really good shooter as well. So can't nobody sleep on him. But like I said, I really think there's issues for this team going forward. And as far as them needing to make a trade, I think that's definitely feasible. Like I said, I like to see them get somebody like Andre Drummond, somebody like that, and let them rock with him, because I think he's definitely more of their type of big man. I think he could make more of an impact as a big man in that paint. Plus he can score a little bit on his own, so that definitely makes it formidable. I mean, I've only known DeAndre Jordan to really score like if he's getting alleys the whole time. If you throwing him lobs the whole time, yeah, he'll definitely score off those. But I never known him to score any other way, because I always thought he was a trash big man myself. I never really thought he was a legitimate big man in the league that can help you win a championship. So, but at the same time, I will say this: he was better on the Clippers back then with Lob City, but now I think he's just a good backup, good solid backup center. And just in case your other center needs to sit down, he's been playing too many minutes, or if your other center's injured, then you throw DeAndre Jordan back in there, because DeAndre Jordan, he'll definitely at least attempt to hold down the paint as much as he can, even though he's just not right now. But tonight he did have 12 points and 13 rebounds, which is good. I think he should, average that every night, maybe a little bit more, my personal opinion. But I think even him averaging 12 and 13 is just not good enough. I think they need more, and I think they just need more of a presence, like I said, because DeAndre Jordan is not scaring anybody defensively, so that's definitely not going anywhere there. But tonight also, I think Kyrie had 35 and 8 assists. Kyrie is always going to do his thing offensively, but sometimes I think Kyrie is, I love Kyrie's game. I love watching him. He got the best handle in the league, no doubt. But at the same time, I think, his game is a little bit more selfish than it is, a team player. And I feel like a lot of times that hurts a team going into the playoffs as well, because unless you have a player like LeBron James or somebody of that caliber, Kyrie could really either help you win, or he could really bring you down as a franchise or organization. And he's done that before. He's actually won a championship with LeBron James, and he hit that big shot over Curry. But I mean, LeBron played so good a defense, and he matched Kyrie damn near point for point, which is the reason why they actually won, and won that championship that year. But like I said, Kyrie is hit or miss as far as his mentality, what he's thinking. And every time Kyrie talks, honestly, it just seems like, something comes out of his mouth that you didn't even expect or whatever. But it shouldn't surprise you by now, because that's just the way he is. But now Harden did have 19 points and 11 rebounds. He only had 5 assists, but still, pretty easy victory for him today. So, and I really like the way James Harden has actually, took the back seat a little bit on his offense, just to sacrifice so the team can actually be better and they can win a championship. I got to give Harden a lot of credit for that. But at the same time, man, like I said, this team right here, you got to understand, they definitely need more defense as a unit, but they also need that big man in the paint to play defense and get extra rebounds, so they can be more of a formidable team playing against other teams in the playoffs who has that. Because when you play teams like, the Miami Heat in a 7-game series, when you play teams like the 76ers, they have a big man. Matter of fact, Joel Embiid is in the MVP conversation, but those teams like that have a big man. Bam Adebayo on the Heat, they have a big man that demands a presence in the paint, and they have a big man that can score a little bit in the paint. So when you have that, it's almost like it picks up everybody else's defense on the other end, just because they had that protection at the rim. So, like I said, I think the Nets got issues. I think they need to fix those issues ASAP. And if they don't, I feel like it's going to be a rude awakening for them and a lot of fans who are basically already giving them the title, because you have to go out there and earn it at the end of the day. Nothing is given to you. And I could tell you, if they go into the playoffs like this, the way they are, limping with KD not being there, and even when KD is there, you're limping on defense, basically, it doesn't matter. You're going to get beat. And like I said, if they don't make some changes or make a trade or anything of that nature, you will see them have difficulties in the playoffs. And like I said, those difficulties eventually they add up, and eventually they come back to hurt you. So, and that's just the way it goes in the NBA. That's the way it goes in every sport. So, do I want to see the Nets make a trade? Of course I do. But we have to see if they're actually going to make a trade. If they're going to be committed to that, and they really actually believe that's their problem. It's having a big man in the paint and defense. So, if they really believe it and preach it and live it, then we're actually going to see, because they have an opportunity to make another trade. I'm not sure exactly, how much money they have under the cap and all that, but you can get rid of some players just to get a big man. You can get rid of one or two players, what I'm saying, to fill that void as far as your defense, and trading for another player who plays defense. I mean, it's a lot that they can do. Like I said, they're in the driver's seat. They definitely control their own destiny, just like a lot of other teams. So I expect to see something happen, because the way the team is constructed now, I'm just not exactly sure how far they'll go with this type of methodology, the way they play. Oh, we just go in there to outscore everybody. If the other team scores 120, we have to score 125 every night. I'm just not sure that's going to actually win you a championship, because in this league, you have to play defense and you have to get stops when you need to. And doing it one game in a regular season is one thing, but try doing it in a 7-game series when every game counts and you're on the brink of elimination because you haven't played well the other 3 games. So, like I said, we'll see exactly how it goes. But as far as their offense is good, as far as the team, I know they'll definitely be in the playoffs and definitely have a chance to make it to the finals. So I definitely can't wait to see that, how that goes down for them. But hey, what I'm saying? We'll see how it goes, and hopefully Kevin Durant and the whole team be healthy here soon, and we'll see how they gel and how the camaraderie grows, and we'll see exactly where they end up as far as seeding and going to the playoffs. We'll see all that stuff. So, like I said, hey, until next time.
Reece, you back.